shall we move on to what would you like to move on to?
I think Ahsoka first.
Ahsoka first?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm real hyped about the
Real
other one
hyped
we're gonna
about-
talk
hell
about.
yeah. Yeah, guys, last week on episode number 71, we did our episode 3 review for Ahsoka. And if you guys want to just check that specifically out, go and check that out on our YouTube, that video. Just that 15-minute segment.
Yeah.
Just the Ahsoka part.
We
This
did
is
good. We kept it short.
Exactly. It's up there so you guys can go watch it. Also, go and watch our episode 1 and 2 review that we did in episode number 70. And that's just accumulated into one video. So go and check that out on our YouTube. And go subscribe at 2FTV20HIGH4 TV, the number 4. Not FOR, FORE, FOUR. I mean, it is FOUR,
Yeah,
but it's like the symbol.
the symbol.
Symbolic. We're a symbolic podcast.
We
here.
are. Very symbolic. Very thematic.
But yeah, we're going to give you our episode 4 review because episode 4 came out last week, the time that we are recording this, and it was
Crazy.
probably one of the most epic pieces
just like
Star Wars media that we've gotten
just
in
in
like
general.
just such a long time.
Yeah.
Like, and just like, I mean, just like it being just Star Wars to the core.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
There hasn't been anything this hype for me since the end of Mando season 2.
Yeah. And I think this is like right up there with it. For
I agree.
sure.
100%. This is right behind it for me.
And this is more like rooted in Star Wars.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Like
yeah.
Mando season, the ending of Mando season 2, it's very Star Wars because, you know, we get Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker came back. He get his great big moment that, you know, we've never gotten to see like an updated version of like what Luke Skywalker would be.
Yeah, like after Return of the Jedi.
Exactly. So it was nice seeing that. But this is like just straight up Star Wars through and through.
This gives you prequel vibes.
Exactly.
It gives you classic vibes. Gives you Clone Wars vibes. It gives you everything you want.
Gives you all the vibes.
It's awesome.
But yes, in episode 4, we basically pick up right where we left off in episode 3.
Yeah.
Ahsoka and Sabine
What's
and
the planet called? Oh, Huyang. Yeah.
They all are stranded in Cetos.
Cetos 9, right?
Yeah, exactly. Cetos 9 or something like that. They're in the forest. They're trying to get their ship up and running, trying to get the comms up and running so they can contact Hera and all them to see if they can get some backup.
Yeah.
But it's not working out, you know. So they're out there, you know. Sabine and Ahsoka have their talk about, hey, you know, the enemy has the map. If we can't, you know, get the map ourselves and use it to find Ezra first,
we need to
destroy it because no one should be able to get to Ezra because where Ezra is, Thrawn also is. So we can't let the bad guys get to Thrawn because Thrawn is what we're trying to stop.
Yeah, they gotta sew up that thread.
And they have that moment of, you know, Ahsoka telling her that and Sabine being like, nah, you know, it's all good. We're gonna fucking
can count on me.
You know, we're gonna get the map. We're all good. And Ahsoka's like, hey, can I, you know, if it all comes down to it, can I count on you? And Sabine's like, of course. You know, so they go back on the ship. They get ambushed by some bounty hunters because at the end of episode 3, we saw that Shin Hati told Baylan, like, hey, they're here. Baylan obviously knew, and he told like the bounty hunter droids, hey, go out and get these motherfuckers. So they get ambushed. We get a great fucking fight scene with Huyang fighting these motherfuckers.
That was awesome.
I didn't expect that.
Me neither.
That was really nice. You know, really putting them on the spot and really, you know, it was weird getting like a droid fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously we got what's homie from Rogue One.
Oh yeah. Damn it, I can't remember. C290 or some shit.
Yeah, something like that. But you know, we got some fight scenes with him, but we never got like a full on like robot on robot like fight scene. You know, so it was pretty cool seeing that.
Yeah.
And, you know, we get Sabine and Ahsoka fucking jumping into action. Ahsoka fucking ignites her 2 lightsabers, and, you know, they fucking fuck these motherfuckers up.
Shit goes down.
Yeah.
The whole episode's like a fight episode.
Mm-hmm. This was definitely like a fluff, like, fight scene, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
It's more volume. It's like, hey, let's just get you into, like, the vibe of the episode of, like, there's going to be some fights going on. Yeah. But it was nice getting to see how Ahsoka and Sabine, like, really, like, when they just aren't thinking about it, and it's just like, hey, we need to work together and, you know, just kick some ass.
They're very synergistic.
They're synergistic. They're kicking ass. You see the scene where, like, Sabine fucking gets the dude with the fucking her little grapple fucking rope and then pulls him forward, and then Ahsoka finishes him off. Like,
they got the combo moves, bro. Yeah,
exactly.
Good shit. Yeah.
But then we get to one of the scenes that we've been wanting to see from the trailers. We get the showdown with Shin and fucking Merrick and Ahsoka and Sabine.
Yeah.
And holy shit, man. That shit was fucking sick.
Really
like,
good. Super tense.
Yeah, really, really tense. Yeah. Like, the thing is, like, Dave Filoni has really known, like, how to find those tense moments and build them up, like, really, really nicely. Like, not forcing the fighting too much. Like, really letting the characters, like, feel like they're feeling each other out and, like, give, like, you know, put put the viewer on that, like, on the edge of their seat a little bit and let them, like, all right, what's going to fucking happen? Who's going to strike first? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? And, like, there's a few moments in this episode where they do that, and I thought they really handled it very, very well.
They definitely have the choreography is still there, and the moves that they do when they're actually, like, clashing is still good. It's more simple. I would say that part is probably closer to, like, what you've already seen in the sequel movies.
Yeah.
But the feeling that I got from the Twin Sons episode of Rebels, you've probably seen the clip where Old Ben and Maul face off.
Yeah.
That was the vibe of, like, the feeling of the fights for all of them. It was just like that mental game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was good shit.
It was that mental chess. Like, what move are they going to do and how do I counter this move before they even know I'm going to fucking counter this move?
Yeah. Oh, man, it definitely makes you bite your nails, man.
Yeah, it was fucking great. I thought the setting was great. Like you said, the choreography was, like, it was simple, but it reminded me of that, like, prequel trilogy, like, style of, like, fighting where it's, like, it's not super... Like, obviously, the prequel is, like, they were getting more acrobatic and stuff like that, but there is still some, like, simple moments to it, and, like, the choreography means more than just, like, the crazy acrobatic stunts and stuff like that. So
what I liked about it this time was, like, it reminded me of the original trilogy fights, at least in 5 and 6, where, like, the prequels, I think, at times can feel very choreographed.
Yeah.
Like, where they're deciding to try and swing is very much set up so Obi-Wan or Anakin can do, like, a cool flourish to block it, right? In this, it feels like every single one they're going for the fucking throat, or, like, they're trying to slice each other in half, or, like every one feels like a killing blow rather than, like, dun, 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 like, you know what I mean? Like, they're waiting for those moments to actually fucking slice, and it feels so much more tense. It's crazy.
Yeah, I loved the fight between Sabine and Shin. Obviously, we were waiting for that, like, that rematch. And I think we're definitely going to get, like, another rematch before the season ends, for sure.
There's going to be a finale one.
Yeah, but it was fucking great. We get to see, like, how much Sabine has progressed, like, in that small amount since we've seen her in, like, the fight in episode 1. And, like, she definitely holds her own against Shin, but Shin definitely gets the upper hand, you know, for sure.
Most definitely.
But yeah, and then we get fucking Ahsoka versus Merrick, which was fucking the showdown we've been wanting to see again since, what was it, like episode 2, like the little fight that they had.
Yeah, on Corellia, I think.
And we've been wanting to find out who the fuck is Merrick, because we've definitely theorized who we thought he is, and everyone on the internet has been like, oh, it's fucking Ezra, oh, it's fucking this, it's that.
I saw Kanan, I saw Starkiller, like I saw.
No way, it could have been Kanan.
No,
Starkiller for sure, yeah.
Starkiller, yeah.
Starkiller, we talked about that one a little bit, but yeah, that fight was awesome. I liked the the cameras were really, like, right up in front during those fights, just, like, really tight,
you see
really
the sweat on their brow.
Exactly, and I like that. I really like seeing the clash of, like, the two colors and stuff like that. I always think that stuff is really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that fight scene was really awesome.
How do you feel about the resolution of that fight, the reveal that happens?
I like it because, the resolution, like you were saying, it was very much like the Darth Maul and the old man, like Ben Kenobi fight.
Yeah.
When, it's not too, there's not too many swings that go down instead of like 2 hits and, like, you're down.
Yeah.
And this one reminded me a lot of that because, you have fucking Merrick who's starting to spin his lightsaber and, Ahsoka's like, all right, let me just, Ahsoka's like, let me just take a step back, let me read this, and let me just get the perfect hit. Boom, one hit, he's down. And I liked seeing the, reveal that is, like, some Dark Sister magic type shit,
because
it is diving more into, like, the deeper, I don't know, like, the more mystical aspect of the Force and not just, like, the regular, like, sci-fi, almost like religious aspect that we're used to.
Yeah, definitely.
We're getting more into, like, some witchcraft and stuff like that, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's showing that, like, Night Sister magic can revive, it's formidable, and it can revive, like, a good amount of people. I mean, like, what was it, in Clone Wars or in Rebels, or Clone Wars, right? They revived Savage Opress. Fucking with Dark Sister magic or Night Sister magic, right?
Do they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
Because he's already dead. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then Sidious kills him again anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No,
so,
they are powerful. The Night Sisters are very
So who
strong.
knows? We can see like other fucking random people come back, you know, which...
What was interesting... sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't want them to just throw in random people like, oh, hey, we can revive fucking this person. Let's bring this person back.
Don't just use it for Easter eggs.
Exactly.
Like, make it story-driven, yeah.
Exactly.
What was interesting to me is that it was... Because I want to... It felt like a misdirection. Mm-hmm. For sure. Like in terms of story element, right? I'm not trying to go so far as like lore, but in terms of like story structure, it definitely felt like a misdirect. Like they were trying to build this mystery around who is this person. And because I'm still confused and I would like to know more about what the apparition was, because even when Night Sister magic is used to revive people, it brings back their physical form. Mm-hmm. When Homeboy got slashed, he just turned to green dust.
Yeah.
Like when Savage gets killed, like his body is still there with a lightsaber hole in it, you know? Mm-hmm. So like, can they just make like apparitions that can be physical? Like, is it a clone? Is that an actual person that she's like telecommunicating through the Force from somewhere else? You know what I mean? Like, I think there is still some mystery behind it that I'm curious to see if they're going to just leave it as like, haha, yeah, we fooled you. That guy didn't mean shit. Or if there's going to be some explanation as to like how, I assume, what's her name, created him.
Morgan.
Yeah, Morgan Le Fay. Oh, yeah, Morgan Elsbeth. I was going to say Morgan Le Fay. I think that's King Arthur. But yeah, because I still want to know. You know what I mean? I'm still left with questions.
Yeah.
After he gets sliced up.
I think it's something that could be... they could dive into more for sure. Maybe not this season, but maybe like next season or something like that. Keep
Morgan alive, or even introduce more Night Sisters.
Exactly. But I think it's something that even if they don't, like if they just kind of leave open-ended, I think it's the right thing to leave open-ended, to leave those questions, because I think it leaves the right questions, and you can have people like theorize. You know, it's not something super pivotal where they're where they're like, oh my God, this is something super important that, you know, it's just, you know, something on the side like, hey, this character that everyone theorized was this super important character is actually not the super important character. He's just
a ghost of some sort.
Yeah, it's just green. It's just green dust.
Just green dust. Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Hey, what is it? Green dust? I don't fucking know, but I don't have the time to fucking describe that. But maybe you guys can. I
gotta think about the other things that happen in this episode right now.
Exactly. So after Ahsoka kills Merrick, Sabine basically tells her, "Hey, you get the map. I'll fucking finish off old Shin Hati over here."
Yeah.
And obviously Sabine doesn't, but you get Ahsoka going back, and she finally meets up with Baylan. And, you know, we get the freaking...
Another great duel.
Yeah. We get the dialogue between them, something that we've been wanting to hear. You know, we get Baylan like, oh, Anakin spoke very highly of you.
Yeah.
And, you know, Ahsoka hits her back with the regular, like, oh, he didn't fucking mention you, motherfucker.
Yeah,
you know?
Classic.
You're fucking nobody.
Yeah.
And then they have their duel after they give their respective, like, oh, this is what I want to do with this, and you know, stuff like that. You know, Baylan's like, I'm here to secure the fucking future.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm here to stop Thrawn and stuff like that. You know, so we get that throughout the episode, but
good little banter.
Exactly, good banter. It's interesting because like, I don't think the dialogue has been anything super complicated in like these episodes.
No,
it's been very simple.
That's true to form for Star Wars.
Yeah,
though.
The characters say what they're feeling. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And
classic Star Wars.
Exactly, classic Star Wars, and I definitely feel like this is a lot of what it was, right? You know.
Yeah, I will say like I'm on the fence about the dialogue portion of that, because I was expecting to have a little bit more revealed when we finally got to that bit, because like you said, it was so highly anticipated from the trailers. It was more or less what you saw in the trailers. Yeah, exactly. There's not any big thing that Baylan says that's like a grand reveal or anything.
He's like,
that.
I'm working for this person or that. You know,
you get to see the fight, which again is really good, but
it's more vague references of like, hey, this is kind of what we want, but we're not going to reveal to you exactly what we want.
It's stuff you kind of like already were thinking.
Exactly, which is stuff that I still want more of. Like, I want them to dive a little bit more into like the... you know, what's driving Baylan and Shin to work with Morgan and try to get to Thrawn, you know, because obviously, like, he doesn't want anything really to do with Thrawn. It's like, hey, I need to get to Thrawn to put my plans into place, but it's like, what are those plans that you fucking have? You know, I want power, but what power do you want? Like, you know, what do you want to be able to do? And what happened to you in your past to, you know, obviously you are a former Jedi. You talk about being in the Order. Oh, everyone in the Order knew who Anakin was, blah, blah, blah. well, what fucking happened? What pushed you out of the order, you know?
It's it's also interesting to me as well because like I think maybe the choreographer wasn't thinking character in mind when they designed the fight scene, but I would like to imagine that they did. And it was very interesting to me like how reserved Balin was. He's not like your typical dark side like fighter where they're like coming at you with like the savage ferocity and like super, like don't get me wrong, he's powerful because he's big and he wields his lightsaber like a great sword, you know, like he has like big huge swings, but he's like in control.
Yeah.
Almost more so than Ahsoka is.
He doesn't strike first or anything like that.
No, it's off-putting. It's weird because you're used to like people with red sight lightsabers like being erratic, right? So the fact that
being
he's
the aggressor and being like really putting that pressure on.
Yeah. So the fact that he's so calm and so like reserved, he's like almost scary. It's like kind of off-putting of like, oh fuck, dude, like what's gonna happen, bro? Like, and again, it makes me question, like you said, what are his motives? Like, what does he truly want? Because it doesn't seem like he's fully given over to like a typical dark side thing, you know? He almost feels like a dark Jedi.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't say gray, but like,
they just give us the line of like, you know, where Morgan's like, oh, have faith. And he's like, huh, faith. I lost that a long time ago. So it's like, okay, something happened, but it's like, what happened? You know?
Was it just Order 66 again? Or like, did he have a more personal?
It seems like something before that, right?
Yeah.
It definitely feels like something before that.
I could see it being that he left the Order before Order 66. He defected from the Jedi or like got exiled or something or other. Who knows? But yeah, it is interesting. Because I wonder if, what my thoughts are right now is that maybe his motivations are just preserving the Force sensitive, and he's on the fence of like willing to do whatever it takes, even dipping over to the dark side.
Yeah, but he said he wants like power. Like you don't.
That's
say,
true.
Like to me, you don't like the preserving the Force, like you know, Force sensitive people, and then wanting power. Like don't
align.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can do one without the other.
They did used to the Sith used to have armies rather than just the rule of two. So maybe it's more like that of like, okay, I'm not gonna pour all of my knowledge into one apprentice that can eventually become like as powerful as me, but I can train a host of people to be like kind of good with the dark side and have like an army of like Force sensitive like warriors and shit, or something. I don't know, because he, like you said, he doesn't seem to be perfectly in line with Morgan and Thrawn. It seems like
he has his own agenda.
Yeah, it seems like a means to an end.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I like his character a lot. He's the most intriguing to me right now, for sure.
Yeah, and then Ray Stevenson just delivers him like
fucking
kills it, bro. It's like so well. Like he doesn't say a lot, but what he says like
it's very
has
impactful.
a very impactful and holds a lot of weight. You know, like even when like he's talking about like fighting Ahsoka or whatever, and Morgan's like, "Oh, do I sense a little fucking fear or like doubt or whatever?" And he's like, "No." Just experience,
like,
you know,
fought a lot of Jedi or some shit, right?
Yeah. Something. He just knows. He obviously knows about Ahsoka.
Yes,
he's had conversations with Anakin or been around conversations where Anakin's spoken about Ahsoka. So he's very familiar. And I don't know. Like he is a very interesting character. You know,
I would have to imagine as well too that like in the last days of the Order, Ahsoka was probably a known figure.
Yeah,
because like there's no way the arrest and mistrial of the great Anakin Skywalker's Padawan like went unknown to like a bunch of Jedi, you know? So like I feel like even if he didn't know Ahsoka personally, he knew of her. She's got her own infamy, I imagine, amongst like the remnant of the Jedi and stuff like that.
Yes, but we get just to get back into the episode, we get the huge duel that we've been wanting to see between Ahsoka and Balin, and that shit was so fucking sick because it is, you know, it has some of those like old, you know, samurai elements to it. Yeah. You know, with Ahsoka's character and her being more of like that samurai character.
The different stances too. They keep switching to like,
I was also very curious as to why she doesn't use both of her lightsabers. Like she just uses one. Like at a certain point in the fight with Merrick, she just goes down to one. And then at no point during the fight with Balin does she use both of her lightsabers. And I thought that was very interesting.
I don't know if it could have been a practical thing, right? And maybe the choreographers chose to just do like single blade versus single blade. But Dave Filoni also knows like all the ins and outs of Star Wars lore and stuff like that. And like there are different styles of lightsaber fighting that are like better for certain situations. So it could just if we're searching for like a lore reason, it could just be that like the double blade is not good enough to fend off against like his like bigger, heavier shit, you know.
But it's like even in like Clone Wars and stuff like that, she always uses like her double, you know, no matter what, you know. Even when she was fighting like Darth Maul with Darth Maul's like double blade, she was just like, you know.
It could have just been choreography then.
Maybe I don't, but it's like you don't. To me, like she has such an iconic fighting style. Like you don't not use it for a reason.
What I will say though is that they did give us the most iconic thing about her fighting style in that scene, which is she finally turns the saber around. She's been using regular style. Yeah. And in this fight, that fucking got me hyped. Is when she fucking does the flip and it's backwards. I was like, ooh, fuck yeah. That's the Ahsoka stance right there.
Exactly. But like still, like just
the
not
doubles, both.
Not using the two. Like I think that's very like, it's like, okay, this is Ahsoka fighting, you know. But like
maybe it's an honor thing.
I don't know. Like again, it was just something that like first time watching it, and even like I watched this episode probably like 3 times, and like first time watching it, I was like, why isn't she using like the two, you know, both the lightsabers? And like I couldn't figure it out. It's something that I'm still like, you know, curious about. But I thought the fight was fucking great. It lived up to, you know, it honestly exceeded the expectations that I had.
Oh yeah,
you know, because with like just the regular, you know, streaming TV episodic versions of like, you know, episodes of Star Wars, I wouldn't say like the lightsaber fights are always like top tier or top notch or anything like that.
No, the choreography is more saved for like the battles, like the fights between a lot of people and stuff. Yeah, you don't see a lot of one-on-one stuff that's like on that level.
Exactly. And I thought the choreography for this was like top tier, where it was like movie quality, where I can see this stuff like really being in the movie, like it just getting spruced up with like some, you know, movie effect money, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I like seeing the 2 different fighting styles between Ahsoka and Baylan. You know, obviously I was talking about Ahsoka not using her, you know, iconic fighting style with the 2 lightsabers, but their 2 styles are still very distinct. You know, he wields it like you're saying, like a great sword, like this big ass sword.
Heavy swings.
Heavy swings. It's never like these short, you know, like little fucking jabs or anything like that.
Anakin versus Obi-Wan.
Exactly. But you know, I liked seeing him still like being like acrobatic and stuff like that. You know, you have that scene where he like slashes and like does a turn and like does a jump and like slashes again.
Jumps off the rocks and shit.
And I thought that was super sick. I was like, okay, that caught me by surprise. I didn't expect to see something like that, you know?
It's nice to see them using like the environment around them too. Like Ahsoka's like pushing off the stones to like try and get some bigger hits. I think he like flings a rock at her at one point, you know? Like it feels like, again, it feels like they're trying to kill each other. Like it's not a duel, it's not a dance, like it's a battle to the death. Like they're trying to fucking slice each other in half, dude.
Exactly. And then what I really like seeing is I like seeing them like actually like kick and punch each other. I feel like that's something that we don't ever fucking see. You know, and then we get Ahsoka doing her fucking little kick and then like a fucking jump kick, and I was like, oh fuck, that shit was awesome.
The Jedi are act like that, because that's one of the things that like the coolest hidden gem of like Star Wars animation shit is that Mace Windu episode of the original Clone Wars animation. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. When he just fucks up all the fucking things with his hands, man. Like, you know, the Jedi can fuck shit up without their sabers. Exactly. Like, it's good shit, man. Yeah. It's cool.
That was awesome. And the fight was super interesting. Obviously we get you know, Ahsoka is trying to get the map because Morgan at this point is trying to download the coordinates to find Thrawn and stuff like that. So Ahsoka's like, hey, we got to stop these motherfuckers. At one point she goes to grab the map.
Yeah, she pulls it out.
You know, it stops the download of the freaking coordinates, but it fucking burns her hand. And I was like, why the fuck did it burn her hand all fucking crazy? Because I feel like, you know, obviously there's a flame under there, so I was like, okay, it gets hella hot. But I feel like other characters were like touching it.
Well, I think it was because it was actively. It had the Night Sister magic active. Okay. Like whenever other characters are holding it, it's not in the pedestal. But she like pulled it out after what's her name put like the green fire in it and shit like that. So,
but I feel like even like after like Sabine doesn't even show up that too much like later, and Sabine just like is holding it and is like, "Hey, what's up?"
That's true. Got it. But yeah, again, it's like after it came out of the pedestal.
That's true.
She
That's
like
true.
pulls it straight out of the power source. Yeah.
But she pulls it out. Obviously, burns her hand. Freaking throws it down.
Yeah.
Balin's like, "Hey man, shouldn't have fucking done that shit," and starts just fucking her up. Just
hard,
really
dude,
like just putting in those heavy fucking slashes.
Yeah.
At this point, Shin Hati comes back, and Ahsoka's tripping out. She's like, "Where the fuck is Sabine?"
Yeah.
And a crazy fucking moment for me. This made my jaw drop. She
Me
fucking
too.
literally grabs Shin with the Force and just fucking throws her into a rock.
Head first, bro.
Like,
I thought she was gonna snap her neck, dude.
Hella hard. I
Yeah.
was like, "What the fuck?"
No, it was scary.
That shit was
Ahsoka had
crazy.
a dark moment for sure. Yeah.
And then fucking Balin gets all pissed.
Yeah.
And then finally Sabine comes back. She threatens to destroy the map, but obviously she's not going to do that.
Yeah.
Ahsoka's trying to tell her to do that, but she doesn't do it. And then Balin finally fucking
knocks her off the cliff.
Final blow, knocks her off the cliff.
Sabine thinks all is lost. She freaks out.
And then Balin coerces her into giving him the map and being like, "Hey, I'll help you go and find Ezra."
He doesn't even have to work that hard. Like,
Yeah. Like, we're all going to the same place.
Yeah.
Like, let's just carpool. And Sabine's like, "All right, cool."
I'm down.
Hands it over. They go to the Eye of Sion, where Morgan Elsbeth is chilling, because obviously now they have the coordinates to find Thrawn, so they just got to punch him in. And at this point, you have the Ghost ship
and
with
the X-Wing squadron.
with Hera being a terrible mother and bringing her son along for the
Jason.
ride.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's
like,
good. It's funny.
"Hey, we're going to this insane battle.
Yeah.
Like, you want to just come along?" Like,
There for sure, though. I will say this is that like I don't know how hard they're gonna capitalize on it, and I don't know if they have plans to or not. But it is intentional. They're laying the seeds that Jason is also Force sensitive.
Oh, 1000%.
So I think that's the main reason that they're like putting him in the middle of the action is that like whether it happens over like the hopefully future seasons of this show or maybe in like a future animated show or something like Jason Jarrus or Jason Syndulla. I don't know whose last name he took, either Kanan or Hera, but Jason Syndulla sounds a little better to me than Jason Jarrus. It's a little like Bruce JJ, yeah. But yeah, I imagine he's gonna be some kind of Force sensitive kid at some point or another.
Yeah, but Hera brings her squad along. We got Carson Teeves.
Is that the bearded dude, the dude who's been in Mando and stuff for a while? Yeah, he's awesome.
We got him. We got a couple other X-Wing fighters in there.
Just kind of throwaway dogfighting pilots.
And this was a nice moment because I was like, all right, cool. They showed up. They're gonna
dogfight.
Yeah, they're gonna thwart the plans of the villains, or we're gonna go home and we're gonna call it a day. But nope,
definitely not.
Freaking they. Morgan puts the Eye of Sion into fucking hyperdrive, and it's crazy because like the sound it makes is like insane. It's
Scary.
like something we've never heard because all the characters too are like,
what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, and they jump into hyperspace and it's fucking nuts, and it leaves a big ass fucking trail. That all the freaking
says the X-Wings flying,
a couple of them explode.
Yeah.
It was fucking.
It's hardcore.
It was fucking nuts, dude. That was.
Pretty tense moment.
Again, this episode I thought was probably the best episode of Star Wars that we've gotten in quite a while since the season 2 finale of Mando.
Yeah.
To echo off of like what I've said through past episodes, like the scale of this just feels really big.
Feels movie quality
for a TV show, an episodic
streaming show.
Release, a streaming show.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been wanting from people that have all this money, aka Disney and fucking Marvel. Like, make your shows feel big. You have, and not just like, hey, we're gonna set them and they're gonna be in fucking a million different places. Like, make the atmosphere feel, big. Make it feel like I'm watching it in a theater, but I'm just watching it at home.
Yeah.
Give it that nice quality. Put the thought into it, and I feel like, with Dave Filoni at the helm of this, we have really I felt like the thought and care go into this series, like, for sure.
I think the other thing, too, is that, like, the stakes of this show are right for that level of production, right? Because, like, you can't sink $1 billion into, like, I Am Groot or something right? I think it depends on the project for sure. Like, anything, I would say, going forward, if you're listening, Disney, anything that will affect the main line story that is unfolding in either your Star Wars or your Marvel canons, put at least 75% of what went into those productions. It doesn't have to be this all the time, because Ahsoka is
it needs to be this all the time.
This feels like, and I won't say this is like the end game of Star Wars or anything like that, but it's certainly on a different level. It deserves more care and respect than a typical Star Wars project, which is why I say like the 75% thing of like, or maybe the other one should get 100, but this deserves the 110% that it's getting because it's fucking that's big, man. It's big shit, big reveals, big fucking returns possibly. We haven't even gotten to the biggest.
Oh yes, and so
last episode.
When they jump off into hyperspace, everyone's like, "What the fuck happened to Ahsoka?" We haven't heard anything about Ahsoka ever since she got fucking
knocked off the side
of the cliff into the fucking ocean.
Great transition.
It was insane. Fucking so we get beautiful. It starts to pan over the ocean, and you're like, okay, maybe we're gonna
waves.
Maybe we're gonna see the body wash up somewhere.
Yeah,
and then it literally just transition into her in what. The world between fucking worlds.
The world between worlds, bro.
It looks fucking so great.
It looks beautiful
in live action.
I will say it's. I will say this. It's not the most intricately difficult thing to pull off because it's just like a lot of black space with some cool cyberspace looking highways.
Yeah, but it looks 10 times better than it did in fucking Rebels.
Very exciting to actually see it.
In Rebels, it was literally just black space.
Yeah, they had the little bridges and stuff too, or whatever. Yeah, but it is something different to see it in with real actors, with real people standing there. Yeah, it gives it a different scale.
Exactly.
Sleepy or sneezes?
Sneezes. But Ahsoka wakes up. And you hear, hello, Snips. And you're like, what the fuck? What is this? Who uses that nickname?
Anakin?
Yeah. And then you hear it again. And he's like, I didn't expect to see you here so soon. And it, the voice comes in a lot more clear. We can hear, okay, it's fucking Hayden Christensen. He's playing Anakin Skywalker. Yeah. Ahsoka turns around. She sees him fucking standing there.
In all his glory, bro.
All his horribly de-aged glory.
Yeah. I thought it looked okay.
Yeah.
I thought it looked much better than the Luke Skywalker. And the Luke Skywalker to me looks pretty good.
Which Luke Skywalker?
In the end of Mando, season 2.
Okay, it looks better than that, but it does not look as good as it should look. For how much we've been doing de-aging and everything like that, it should look way better.
I think it's actually so funny to me that you caught that because like that one to me it didn't look like stellar. But it certainly wasn't anything for me
weird.
To like.
Just looks weird to me. Like anytime I see it, I'm like, okay.
I didn't notice it because when I first saw the one in Obi-Wan was noticeable, but that's because they tried to make him look.
Obi-Wan, they didn't even de-age him.
He tries to look. They took at least some of his wrinkles off because he has like some bags under his eyes that were not there in episode 2. But they didn't take the. And there's no offense to Hayden Christensen, but he's just bigger now. He wasn't. He's not like as slim as he was back in 2000. So that was the main thing that threw me off in Obi-Wan. But in this one, I thought he looked fine. I hardly even noticed it, honestly.
To me, I don't even think that's his actual, like, torso standing there. I think they just got to stand in, and I think they just fucking CGI'd his face onto someone else's face.
Could be. I mean, that's how they did it with Luke, is they have a person there.
Just have him there. You don't think Hayden Christensen actually wants to come back and actually physically be in that role?
Well, I think we'll find out, right, when the behind the scenes come by, but depending on how present he is in the next episode, I have to believe that he is there in some sense or another, because the other thing too is they would need him on set, even if they do just paste his head onto somebody else's body, they still need him on set for reference. They can't just have him in a booth behind a green screen and like paste it over. Like even with the Luke Skywalker stuff, they had Mark Hamill there, and then they had the young dude, and they would switch out.
See, they could also just take fucking scenes from like Revenge of the Sith or something like that, and just paste it on there. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they could, but I feel like in that sense, it would look way more noticeable than it is now, because the AI would be working way harder to like produce a new image based off of old stuff, rather than just like pasting a younger face over him actually standing there. But who knows? Who knows? We'll find out soon enough. They always release the behind the scenes things like after the seasons are over and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I loved the Anakin reveal. I just thought it looked kind of weird, but that's just things that I notice when I'm fucking watching shit where I'm like, oh, that was kind of weird. But I fucking loved it nonetheless. I was like, holy shit.
It was beautiful, dude.
We're really getting Anakin Skywalker
full on
back,
cried, bro. I was in tears when that shit happened.
It was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It was fucking great.
Yeah, what are your thoughts and theories as to what's going on as of now with
what
Anakin?
Do you mean? With Anakin?
Yeah.
I don't know, because there is a lot that Dave Filoni can go from. I've seen a lot of things that like it's an Anakin from a different point in time that happened to just stumble into the world between worlds from like, you know, a hotspot Jedi temple somewhere or whatever. Yeah. I've seen it could possibly be like his Force ghost, and that's like the in between where like, you know, that's like that's where they live. The Force heaven, you know, type of like type the world of stuff. Between worlds, I've seen that like he is now like the Mortis god, you know, and the one that's like the balance, and he's just chilling there. He's the father now. I don't know. Like, I really don't know, because we also get the Vader theme that plays at the end. Very ominous. So, I don't know. I think, if anything, it is going to be a version of Anakin from, like, Revenge of the Sith era, where he's kind of already turning to the dark side, and we're going to explore that a little bit, because I think that is just, like, the big question surrounding like Ahsoka and Anakin and everything like that is like,
could she have stopped it?
Yeah, if Ahsoka was there, could she have potentially, you know, brought him back, you know, and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be something along those lines. What's going on with Anakin? I have no clue. I'm just happy he's fucking there.
Yeah, it's good to just see his face.
Yeah, if I can say anything, I think it's his Force ghost or something like that. Okay. And that's the reason why him saying like, I didn't expect to see you here so soon. Like, maybe he's like, hey,
I didn't expect you to die.
I didn't expect you to die. Motherfucker, what the hell? I thought I trained you, and all of a sudden you're just out here dying on me. What the heck? You're dead. Yeah, you're dying on me. What's going on over here? You know. But yeah, I think that's what it's gonna be. I think that's gonna be his Force ghost. Yeah, and he's gonna they're gonna touch on things that, you know, they never got to speak on because of where they left things, like at the end of like that Clone Wars.
Yeah, the newest season or whatever. Yeah.
So I don't know. What are your thoughts and theories on what's going on?
I have two so far. Okay. And then one is thematic, which is I think that it's just a Force apparition. It's his ghost. And it's the Force testing Ahsoka in that Anakin is her past and Sabine is her future. And so it's a test of like, she's preaching all this shit to Sabine of like, you need to let go of the past if you're going to be able to like achieve your fullest potential, but she's not doing it herself, obviously. Right. So the thematic theory that I have would be that it's just Anakin's Force ghost appearing because the Force knows it's time for Ahsoka to make the decision of whether or not she's going to move on and let all that go and take on the future for what it is, not haunted by her ghosts, which is cool. I think that would be good. It'd be fine. The lore fans might not be super satisfied, right? Because you're just bringing Anakin back out of nowhere. I wouldn't be surprised if they do not explain anything about him. Yeah. If it is purely just for story and character purposes, I wouldn't be surprised if like you do get a lot of discussion and debate between the two of them of like, what happened? Why didn't you do this? Why couldn't I have done that? Whatever. But at the end of it, Anakin will like disappear into the sunset or whatever, and you won't see it again. You know, I could very much see it being that. But the other theory that I have, if we do go a lore route, is that I think because we know through the world between worlds you can time travel, right? That's the only reason Ahsoka's alive. So a lot of shit goes down during the Mortis arc of Clone Wars. And there's a couple times when Anakin like full on becomes one with the Force while he's still living and breathing. You know, he doesn't need to die to do it or whatever. So I could very much see it being that Anakin in that time when he like does become one with the Force, a portion of his consciousness goes in to the world between worlds, and the Force knows and like indicates to him in some way, hey, Ahsoka needs you and she needs your guidance. You need to be the one to give her that information, because that to me could also work for the line read of if he just saw Ahsoka, young snips that he's used to, the Force tells him, hey, she needs your guidance. She's going to come to you, a future version of her. And then she shows up right there because of the time travel. And he's like, oh, I didn't expect to see you so soon. That works for me too, at least in this theory. So I could see it being, because the other thing too that I noticed is there's no blue glow around him. There's no transparency. There's no aura. He doesn't look
like, he kind of has like a bluish glow to him.
I didn't watch the whole episode twice, but I did go back and pause, and I only saw the hue of the light like panels that they're standing on. It was for sure nowhere near the level of effect that they usually put on a Force ghost. If they were trying to portray that he was a Force ghost, they did it super, super subtly, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I would say, like, even if you go to whichever one in the sequel trilogy where Yoda shows up, he's not even, like, super transparent.
Homeboy's blue as fuck, though. Not see, that's the glow of the world around them. That's not Force
yeah,
ghost.
I could see that.
That's not Force ghost. So that was the other thing that threw me off, is he looks physical. He doesn't look ghostly.
That looks so bad.
So I don't know. It's weird. There's not a lot of typical visual hints.
His hair looks blue. No, crazy.
Yeah, a little. It looks
grasping at straws.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the other thing that is interesting to me, is that he's not appearing to her, and it's because I would believe that it could be his Force ghost, because that's how he shows up at the end of Jedi, right? With the retcons. Originally, it was like the actor that voiced him or something like that, I think. But when they did the digital remasters, they put Hayden Christensen in. So I could see it being his Force ghost, because that's how he appeared at the end or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. No blue just makes me think it's not a Force ghost.
So do you think he, like, pulled her into the world between worlds? Do you think she fell into the world between worlds? Do you think Morai pulled her into the world between worlds?
Who?
Morai, like the owl.
Who's the owl?
The fucking owl that's, like, tethered to her after she gets, like, the Force of the fucking, what is it, like, the sister or whatever?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, she has, like, a Force owl that's, like, tethered to her.
Oh, dang. I don't even remember that. Is that Clone Wars or Rebels?
I think that's Clone Wars.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Ahsoka,
that is one thing that I'm interested in seeing, because, like...
First
Gooshed? For it so far, I think only one other appearance of this place, the world between worlds that we've got, you don't accidentally fall into it.
Morai is a special convor with spiritual ties to the daughter and a connection to Ahsoka Tano. Morai was a female convor known to have spiritual ties, blah, 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 blah.
Could be. Especially if she's got ties to, like, that whole father-daughter son thing of Mortis, then I could see it.
Morai has long followed and watched over Ahsoka Tano in the world between worlds, a mystical plane inside, blah, blah, blah. Morai encouraged the Padawan as a bridger to save Ahsoka.
Yeah, maybe. Because then that would be another cool not Easter egg, but
who has
like,
a crush
reveal.
on Ahsoka Tano?
I like how that's like the first suggested thing in that box right there. You have like a bunch of stuff about a Force owl, and then you have who married Ahsoka Tano? Who
Does
has
Ahsoka have a lover?
Yeah, exactly. Did Anakin ever love Ahsoka?
That's
people just
want
to know the tea, bro. People want to know the fucking dirty details. But yeah, that is one thing that I am also confused about and wondering, because like typically you don't just like accidentally fall in there. You have to make a choice to either go there or, like we saw Ezra in Rebels, like pull somebody into it. So I don't know.
I've seen theories that, like, if you watch, like, the credits and they show, like, the different points, like, obviously it's showing, like, a end credits version of, like, the map and stuff like that, and there's different points and they have different names. There was, like, a theory out there that, I think this was from Screen Crush, shout out Screen Crush, that those different points could possibly be, like, Force hotspots, which is why... There's that altar on Cetos or whatever. Yeah. And those, since they're Force hotspots, like underneath them or whatever, could be entrances to the world between worlds.
Like the veil between the two is like lighter there or something. Yeah, for sure.
And maybe like Force users in the past, like way before like the High Republic and things like that, when they really had to use the Force to like travel and stuff like that, maybe they use that to travel to different points and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's like different points between like time and space and stuff like that. Yeah,
because that was another thought that I had was that it seemed to me that the world between worlds was going to be used, or is going to be used, to help the rebels get to Thrawn in some way or another, right? Like whether Ahsoka figures out where the other thing too, my dad pointed this out, and I do think it's a good bet, is that obviously at the end of the episode, Balin fucking blows up the map, right, with his lightsaber, and seemingly the rebels have no way of getting over there because they lost the map. My dad was like, classic shit, the map's burned into Ahsoka's hand, right? Like the coordinates are there on her shit.
Isn't that some like Indiana Jones fucking shit?
It's just classic adventure in general. I'm pretty sure somebody did that before Indy too. But yeah, it would make sense, right? If like the pieces that they need that they're missing are now like scarred on her hand or whatever. Yeah,
I heard that theory too, and I was like, oh wow, that like I feel like that like makes sense.
It would work.
You know?
Yeah, they made
why
the
else
point.
Would they? Why else would they put so much emphasis on her like burning her fucking hand?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. But yeah, maybe that in combination with the fact that she maybe gets information from like this Anakin appearance, or like finds a portal there somewhere that looks like Thrawn's ship or something. Like, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a combo of the two. Combination. I would also prefer that the world between worlds stays mysterious as well too. Like, I don't want the next episode to be like a super deep dive lore history lesson on like how everything and anything is possible in that place. Like, just do what you need to do thematically and like character wise, and have everybody tie up their knots and then get them out of there. Yeah. Like, keep that place a mystery, because like the more you try to explain it, the easier it's going to be for people to poke holes in it, and then shit's going to come out of whack, and it's going to be like, well, why didn't they just use the world between worlds to save Qui-Gon? It's like stupid shit like that, you know? So like...
Well, I think the other thing is like, if you go... And because I've been trying to look up things on like the world between worlds. Yeah. And apparently like in Star Wars, like that is like... Those are all like fixed points. Like, so even Ezra going back and saving Ahsoka was like supposed to happen.
Oh, okay. It's part of like the timeline.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, or Ahsoka was supposed to like live regardless.
Yeah. So like Ezra saving her doesn't disturb the Force or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's going to be probably something like that, where they can't really do that because those are all fixed points.
I would like to see them have to go up against a fixed point that is not in their favor. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if maybe Ezra is destined to be lost forever or something along those lines, you know, like a sacrifice that they're going to have to be willing to accept because the Force like wills it or something, you know? And then from that point, they can either do, you know, follow along with what Ahsoka's been saying of like the Jedi have to make the hard calls and sacrifice the things that they love the most, or they can take a different approach and disrupt Star Wars canon and like blow it wide open so that they can do whatever they want going forward, and have them like break the timeline, go with some Loki vibes, you know, of like, oh no, the sacred timeline is disturbed now. Because you know what else too, I heard rumors about this a lot, but they could, if they want to and they take that route, they could find a way to decanonize the sequel trilogy.
I would love that.
If they're really trying to apologize that hard. I don't think that they should. I think that's a terrible move. That's a horrible move to make, honestly, because as much as we didn't like that as fans, some of it, I enjoy more of the sequel trilogy than I don't like about it. And I'll die on that sword. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. But that's a lot of years and years of people's time and hard work still, that you're just all of a sudden being like, nope, doesn't matter to the story. Sorry.
Well, think about all the people that worked on like things like Star Wars Legends and stuff like that.
That's ass. You know? That's what I'm saying. Like, think that's not good necessarily, to take years and years and years worth of artists' hard work and just to tell them like, nope, your stories don't matter. They don't factor into the overarching thing after all, because that's not what we want to do anymore. Like, I don't think that's a good move, especially with something that came out so recently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, just stick with what you got and go. It's fine. Yeah. People didn't like it, whatever. Do stuff after or before.
Stick to your guns.
Yeah, man. Like, don't discredit all of the people that put in hard work to those movies, you know?
True. Very, very true. So what did you think all in all about Ahsoka episode number 4?
10 out of 10. My favorite episode of Ahsoka, and my favorite episode of anything Star Wars since Mando season 2. I still think Luke Skywalker coming back is cooler. But this is a very, very close second.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. 10 out of 10. Everything about this shit was awesome. The score was awesome.
Yeah. Man, the score is great in this show.
The sets were awesome. The choreography was fucking awesome.
I loved how they had the like drums. Like, they'd be standing there and it's like dum dum.
Yep.
Like, that was like, oh, it feels so good, man. It's awesome.
And I like that this finally felt like a full episode. Like, there was a conflict that the main characters were like faced up against. Yeah, you know, and
the first two do like a good job, but they get the benefit of having 1 and 2
Yeah, exactly.
to resolve the opening.
Yeah, and 3 like nothing kind of happens.
3 short, because it's a shorter episode already.
Yeah,
and then
and this one is very much like, okay,
super.
There's the problem of like we're gonna get to the map.
Mm-hmm.
We either completely get it to ourselves or we have to destroy it. And there's the conflict that we have. And obviously Sabine's on the side of like we can't destroy it. We got to find Ezra. And Ahsoka's like, hey, we got to do what we have to fucking do.
You know, it almost feels like because like I'm still okay with episode 3 being what it was leading into 4, but I will say it almost feels like, and we'll see if this is true when the next 4 episodes come out. Mm-hmm. But I would have taken 4 weeks and they release 2 episodes at a time. Because 3 and 4 definitely feel stitched together.
They should go together.
Yeah, in the same way that 1 and 2 feel stitched together. Yeah. Right? So, like, maybe that's a strategy going forward for Disney. I don't know if they would do anything like that. But if they're making their arcs these, like, part 1 and part 2s, that works for weekly television that runs for 26 episodes. Yeah. Right? Because in the middle of a bunch of filler, you can have, like, a little arc. Mm-hmm. But when it's a single series like that, if you're going to do that, just release them at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Just give me 2 at a time. I'm fine with that. If I get 2 episodes every fucking week, dude, I'm down. Mm-hmm. I'll take a shorter, like, time span.
If you get the 2 episodes?
Every time, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Easily, I'll take that.
I would agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get the conflict between the characters. Obviously, the conflict doesn't necessarily get resolved. But, you know, we have the bad guys. You know, it moves forward. The bad guys win at the end. Sabine makes a decision that she has to live with, and like, you know, that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. This is very much the Empire Strikes Back moment of, you know, the series.
It makes sense. It's the halfway point, right?
Exactly.
The middle.
But yeah, it was awesome. I'm excited to see where we go next week, to see if we're gonna finally see this new fucking galaxy.
Please just pick up with Anakin.
Yeah,
like that's what I want. Like I'm excited to see what's happening with the story that's set up, but you can't drop a bombshell like Anakin and not address it right away.
No, yeah, we got to pick up with them 1,000%.
You got to start back in the world between worlds.
Exactly.
Yeah. If there's anything, unless it's a flashback of Anakin and Ahsoka, like I don't want to see anything else. You know, just take me right back into that shit.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, guys, Ahsoka episode 4, go and check that out. By the time that you guys hear this, episode 5 will be out, so maybe some of our predictions come true, maybe they fucking don't.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. We get to do it the night before.
Exactly.
Or a couple days before.
Exactly. So who fucking knows? But I'm excited to see episode 5. But let us know what you think about episode 4. Tell us down in the comments down below, because obviously this is going to be on YouTube. Yep. Let us know.
Theories.
Do you like Ahsoka? Yeah. Are you not liking it? What are you liking about it? What are you not liking about it?
Yeah. Give us the overall thoughts. We don't want biased opinions unless they are in line with our biased opinions. Then please bring them all.
Give it to us straight. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like.
Damn it.
If it's your least favorite Star Wars show, tell us why. If it's your favorite Star Wars show, tell us why.
Yeah.
And yeah, just let us know.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka Tano.